Yo, yo, yo. What is up, YouTube? Kaiser coming at you with a quick video about 10 tips that'll instantly make you better at Rocket League. These 10 tips are going to focus on very small adjustments that really any rank can make to their game that I believe will instantly make them a better player individually and as a team player. So I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so jumping straight into tip number one is one of my personal pet peeves, and it has to do with people clearing the ball. So here I am on the blue team, Death on the red is about to corner this ball, and whenever you clear a ball, you really want to be intentional with it. You want to either throw it into empty space where the other team isn't there, especially in this case late in the game. Just kill time, get it out, give your teammates time to rotate back, which is exactly what me and the other teammate is doing. But what happens here is the teammate clears it into the flat wall, which is never really a safe play. He easily could throw it off the mid-level here, which just bounces out. He could roll it up the wall and take a second touch, but instead he just throws it into the flat part, which isn't always bad if you have a teammate who's ready for the second touch. And the problem is that when you don't have a teammate ready for the second touch, like what we have here, is that you center the ball perfectly for the last man on the red team, who's probably just coming in to center it again after your touch. But instead, he gets a great shot opportunity from the touch off the flat wall, and he ends up finishing it bar down. Moving on to tip number two is all about defending against dribbles. So here you can see I'm rotating back on defense, and Madman is about to go into what I would determine as the loading phase. So he's going to catch this ball and start to dribble it. And whenever you see somebody get ready to dribble a ball, whether this is in the air or on the ground, the easiest place for them to go with the ball is up. They're going to try to flick it over you or double jumping, air dribble it into the net or something. So whenever you see this happening, it's always best to top the ball. Jump just above them or aim for where the ball is going to be, and just make sure you go a little bit higher than you might expect, because worst case scenario, they don't dribble it at all, and even when that happens, you can usually at least top the ball and make it go to the side. So just to kind of let this play out, he gets control. I know he's going to try to dribble, he's going to flick or jump. He ends up just trying to tap it over. It's not a great flick, so it's an easy save, but just be ready to jump in the air and make the save above the other player. Tip number three is all about corner plays and what people are looking to do when they're in the corner. And so I'm just going to let this play in the background as I kind of talk about corner plays. What you're looking to do here when you're on the offense is just cause as much mayhem as possible, put as many balls out in front of the net, and just boost starve the other team that's in the defense until somebody eventually messes up and cracks. So here you can see blue is putting on a ton of pressure on our net, and we're basically just going for clear after clear, trying to get this ball out. And you can tell even when we make a bad touch or blue makes a bad touch, blue is beating us to boost. So here you see Rusty steals boost, keeps us boost starved. Kibo comes back and puts it back on to offense. I make a desperation clear. Kibo again centers this ball out. Rusty does a big move, takes out a goalie. They're just causing mayhem. So whenever you're in the corner, make sure you keep that ball in the zone, keep centering it, keep taking demos, bumps, anything that's going to throw off the timing of the other team. And really, it's just unfortunate that Misery doesn't finish there because they put on a ton of pressure from the corner plays. Another thing to keep in mind when you're playing the ball in the corner is sometimes just throw in unexpected touches, or instead of throwing it in the corner, just find a way to just barely tap it into the center. This is the same game. I find the ball on the wall, and instead of clearing it into the center, I just clear it up and try to center it into the middle of the field. And so here I set up SDB pretty well, and he takes a good shot on net, which is saved. But at this point, the net is almost pure mayhem, and really any touch could go in. And also at this point, Neo misses the ball but gets the bump, so it takes out one player. I get beaten to this ball, but it's not a great touch, so Neo just rotates back in. And although I missed, I'm still trying to be active in the play. So here I actually take out the last defender with a bump. So a lot of times it's just those little touches that can go a long way in just helping cause mayhem and helping that ball find the back of the net. Tip number 4 kind of builds off of what we talked about in the last tip, where you want to be controlling boost in the offensive zone, and that's going to include this mid boost and also the corner boost if you're on the offense. You want to make sure you're controlling those, because if you can boost starve the other team, they're going to be so much lower. They're not going to be able to play balls that are in the air, and you're just going to get, again, more mayhem in front of the net. And then the other one is that when you yourself are boost starved, the little pads on the ground actually give you a ton of boost if you can drive over them quick enough. So a lot of times I'll do little laps kind of back here if I know the ball's going to get cleared back and just get boost. Or if I'm retreating, I'll take the midline down because there's a ton of these little boosts and they'll get you back up to 100 pretty quickly, or at least enough that you can make the next defensive play. So don't sleep on the little 12 spots of boost. They really are helpful. So tip number 5 is probably going to blow some socks off of people, but it's simply setting up your teammates more often. And that's not always just in front of the other team's net. Sometimes it's in your own side of the field. I see a lot of players, including myself, we try to do something we can't do, or we've been practicing in free play, but you're just not quite there yet on it. And a lot of times you just turn over the ball or do something silly. So this one's real easy. But I'm coming in for the clear on my own side, and I basically have a couple options here. My teammate here is rotating in the middle. I see that I could dribble around this guy who's got pretty good defense on me. I could just clear it down the field, relieve some pressure. But the easiest play here is to just kind of toss out in the middle and set up cooking. And what that does is he puts a really good shot on net, forces a double commit, and B, they have to save this, if not it goes in. And the double commit really opens up a ton of field for Smokey for the easy finish. So just setting up your teammates more often, really anywhere on the field, leads to a ton more scoring opportunities, and you're going to cruise up through the ranks. Tip number 6 is all about rotation in defense, and it's really just a good general rule of thumb. So here you can see off of the face-off, I lose, the ball goes into our zone, so I immediately start rotating back. And the rule here is to rotate to the back post. Here I take a little bit of a long route to pick up boost because I know my team is safe with playing the ball in the corner over there. So I grab boost and then I rotate back post. Rotating back post is good because you can make a play on any portion of the net here very quickly. I can shoot across, I can go up, whatever needs to happen in order to clear this next ball that comes in, which happens to be a high ball, so double jump up and just clear it out. Rotating back post is always going to be a super safe play. On to tip number 7. This one has to do with all those times that you get bumped, you miss an aerial, you get exploded after a goal, whatever it is. When you're flying through the air, you always want to reorientate yourself for whichever direction you want to go. So here, I get bumped into the air after a 50-50 challenge, go flying, I go off of ball cam and into car cam, and I see this boost immediately, and I'm like, well, I know where I'm going, so I orientate all my wheels that way and pick up this boost. It just helps increase your recovery time. Same thing if you get blasted onto the wall, maybe you want to have your wheels facing down so you can get right back onto the ground. But whenever you get blasted, make sure you're reorientating your car before you do anything else so that you have a smooth landing and can get back into the play as soon as possible. Tip number 8 actually doesn't have anything to do with gameplay or mechanics or rotations, anything like that. It's simply having a couple different cards that you play with. I call them my slump busters for obvious reasons. If I play 5 games in a row, lose them all, I'm missing balls that I know I should be able to hit, I'll switch my car up, and usually it's just the same couple cars, even just switching up the decal or the style of the car. I think it kind of brings my brain back into focus and looking at the car a little bit different, just because it's a different image than what I've been seeing for the last hour or so that I've been playing. So switching up cars for me can really bring me out of a slump and kind of bring my brain back into the process of playing Rocket League. For tip number 9, what I recommend is go in and play some casual games, whether that's literally in some casual games, or for me, I like to take that to solo standard because I don't really care about my rank in it, which happens to be Diamond 3, but it's just bugged right now. And go for those shots that maybe you just saw in RLCS Season 7, maybe you watched Jazer, a freestyler, something crazy. Go for those crazy shots, and you're probably going to fail 99% of the time, but that 1% of the time, you might get that dope shot. But as you do this, you're going to learn some card control, and also maybe end up with some new tricks that you previously weren't able to do. My 10th and final tip is probably the easiest one to follow through with, and it's simply watching some gameplay of somebody who is better than you. I think Twitch is great because you watch full gameplays of people, but YouTube is also a good place to start with people like Lethamir and Flump, because they make content that's more orientated towards education, but also gameplay, and also just fun videos you get to see them do. But get on Twitch or YouTube, watch some people who are better than you, and look at what they're doing that you're not doing. Maybe they're making turns a little bit faster, or they're half flipping. Little things that'll make you faster, you can pick that up watching somebody else play. And just like that, guys, that's video number 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it. More importantly, I hope you learned a thing or two. And if you do implement any of these tips, let me know how it goes for you down below. As well as with this being video number 1, if you have any feedback or want to see any future videos or have any ideas, please drop them in the comment section below. I'm going to look at all of them and think about what I want to do for the next video. Peace out. Hope you have a good one.